Well, good morning. Welcome back to Full Bore Silver. Well, they all laughed at you, called you a knuckle dragger who liked shiny rocks. Your wife yelled at you for wasting money on shiny little coins while she shopped for $2,300 Prada bags made in China and rebranded in Italy. But who's laughing now? Silver, $100 an ounce. And gold, it's about to hit 5,000 an ounce. And for my part, I don't get too mad at these people. People have been conditioned to live in this 25-year history of suppressed interest rates. This is why I harp so much on looking at the Japanese bond yields, looking at the 10-year treasury yield, 10-year bond yield. They're all going up. This paradigm is ending. We are entering a high interest rate environment because nobody wants to hold this debt. As the brilliant Bill Holter said yesterday on Liberty and Finance, the price of gold does not change. It is the price of fiat currency that is changing, and gold relative to the fiat currency. Gold does not go up and down like this. Fiats come, they bubble, and then they go, and eventually they're lost in the sands of time. Gold just is. Gold is God's creation, as is silver, as is platinum, as is uranium, as is copper, nickel, lead, zinc, aluminum, natural gas, oil, etc. 1,000 years from now, we're going to look back on all these transitory items on Earth in human history. You're not going to remember the US dollar, well, whoever's living then, the US dollar, Bitcoin, Pokemon cards, Black Lives Matter, the Habsburg Empire, the French assignat, the Hungarian pango, postmodernist Bolshevists like Ursula von der Leyen. These people, it's all transitory. But you know what will still exist? Gold and silver. When these asteroids hit the Earth that come from the other side of the galaxy, what are they composed of? Different ores and minerals, gold, silver, titanium. There's elements out there in the universe we've probably never even discovered. Bob Lazar, element 114 or whatever it is, claimed that powered the spaceships that are sequestered at S4. That's another tangent. I won't get into Bob Lazar or the aliens, but what a historic day. Totally incredible. But people are conditioned to this low interest rate environment, and that is what drove all this investment into the NASDAQ and the high flying tech stocks. People were conditioned to deploy their capital into these financial avenues that bolstered the US economy with a lot of companies that don't even create anything. They just trade money back and forth. You've got Oracle that is billions and billions and billions of dollars in debt with data center leasing that there isn't the copper to run it, there isn't the water to cool it. But people have been conditioned like Pavlov's dogs, or you may remember the Milgram experiment out of Yale in the 1960s. It was an obedience experiment that they used on brilliant kids that were going to Yale in the 1960s. And basically, a white coat had them sit down in a lab and press a button and send an electric shock to another participant in another room. And eventually they got these people, because they were being told to do it by the white coat, to deploy a 450 volt shock that could kill somebody to the participant. These are smart kids, evidently going to Yale in the 60s. But because human beings are so easily conditioned and so easily social pressured, they elected in a lab experiment to kill their fellow students. So just remember that. Don't follow the herd. Don't buy tops. Get in at the bottoms. Be an independent thinker. Have the bravery, the courage, and the liberty and independence to invest in precious metals when people call you a Neanderthal for liking shiny rocks. So I'm wondering how Toronto Dominion Bank is doing right now on their shorts. Should be interesting to see how that washes out. Who's running things at Toronto Dominion Bank? Is it Ken Lay from Enron? Is it Kozlowski from Tyco? I don't know. Is it Lori Lightfoot? Is it Jacinda Ardern? They got fellowships at Harvard. I don't think they work there anymore, but some really competent people must be running things up there. But yeah, silver well over 100 right now. 100 and a half, pushing through. Just, I mean, you can't make it up. This is so historic. You know, when I started this channel, we were $58 an ounce, and I was still pounding the table trying to get people in. And I said on my first video that silver adjusted for US CPI would be $207 an ounce. Adjusted for M2 money supply, and these have all gone up, by the way, because the printing continues. M2 money supply adjusted price 668, adjusted for real inflation in this country, which the government lies about, $1,700 an ounce. We have just begun this historic run. But what an incredible milestone. Congratulations to all you stackers out there. It's been an awesome journey. I can't thank you enough for subscribing and commenting and being a part of it. I've become friends with some of y'all, emailed with some folks. They've given me great tips. I love the commenters. I've been getting names out of the comments and running the financials on some of the platinum and rare earth and uranium plays. And don't sleep on uranium, by the way. I don't know if you saw this out of Davos, you know, Trump saying, we're going to go huge into nuclear. Anyway, the DOE, Department of Energy, just got a monster new $50 billion allotment. In the 11th hour, of course, Congress just prints and gives money away. Well, the Fed prints it and Congress gives it away and launders a lot of it and steals a lot of it. But over $3 billion in new funding is going to the Office of Nuclear Energy. So nuclear, I mean, whether you agree with it or not, it's going up, 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 as is uranium, rare earths, and all the components of that. Wanted to show you another chart. This one's a little disturbing. Here is the US dollar versus an ounce of gold, if you can see this. And I'll blow this up so you can see it. But interesting chart, right? The US dollar skyrocketing against gold. Here's another chart. Looks almost the same, doesn't it? Well, this was German paper marks out of the Weimar Republic. So that's the path we're on. And if you know your history, this isn't a good outcome. I'll attach that so you can see it right now. All right, so Shanghai hit 111 last night. God only knows what they're going to hit today after we breach. They seem to have a $10 to $12 premium plus on what's going on in the U.S. Sheckman was on Michelle McCory's show yesterday. Oh, sweet Michelle. He was talking about the record stand for delivery in December. 68 million ounces of silver were stood up for delivery in December. That's a record. It's never happened before. Now we're in January, coming into February. Those are not really delivery months. We still are having a record delivery month here in January. March is the next big stand for delivery month off the COMEX. So March might be the next monster leg up. So keep an eye on that. I did get a call this morning. You know, this was somebody that I had been trying to get into silver, you know, I believe since the late 20s, early 30s. No, didn't want to do it, you know, heavily invested in tech stocks and blah, blah, blah. And now people are starting to wake up, wanted to know where he could get physical silver here as we hit 100. I mean, we've 4x'd since I made that initial recommendation, but people are starting to wake up. I still think the move is early, so DCA on pullbacks, but we ain't pulling back right now. 100 and a half and just green candle after green candle, Godzilla candles. Great historic day. Just wanted to congratulate everybody, get the news out there quickly. We'll see where this goes, and we'll keep tracking it. But thank you so much for watching and subscribing. Have a fantastic day. Full Bore Silver. Talk to you soon.